Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official Clown Town podcast here on the Chieftain Variety
Heyo!
channel. My name is Chief, also known as Jacob, and joining me today is Dino. We have no third
Heyo!
today. Everybody's asleep because it's 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. I gotta clip that out so I can monetize this. Oh well. That's fine. Alrighty. What have
Monetizations for
you
the week.
got for us today, Dino? Also, by the way, before we get into that, I am going to be eating ribs during this because I'm hungry. I am very, very hungry. So I'm gonna
So
let
it
Dino
turn
kind of go on this for a little bit.
so now we're introducing Jacoby's a mukbang today. No,
Oh yeah,
and
mukbang. I'm gonna end up like fucking, what's his face?
please don't say fucking the fucking avocado fella.
Oh
I
yeah,
beg you.
Nikado avocado.
Please no.
Gonna go order
Anybody
like
else but him.
$300 worth of KFC and eat like a third of it.
Jesus. Oh my god. I just all the noises he makes. I've only seen a very small little bit of him and just no, can't. Is he still making videos? Actually,
Oh
I can
yeah,
like
yeah.
oh my god. How has he not died? Not that I wish death upon him, but
I
Jesus.
think I might be wrong. I think he's going through a recovery arc because he actually used to be really fit and very talented at like I think it was violin. I probably got to start with playing violin.
But isn't that his thing where like he kind of like started gaining weight and then like started blaming like his community and then
Oh
continued to
yeah,
gain weight?
because they wouldn't watch any of his actual content. He did mukbang when mukbang was popular, and then that was all his community would watch. So he had to start doing that in
Ah.
order to sustain his living. And then I don't know. He got to a point where if he's reached a point, I believe that if he did anything, he would still make a livable income off of what he did without the mukbang. But according to him, that wasn't the case, and he blamed his community for it.
Well, I don't know. Just when I got to know kind of the situation during that time, it just felt like he was kind of what's the word? Like he was kind of
Like,
using his audience as a scapegoat. I don't feel like it really was their fault. I mean, sure, yes,
yeah,
obviously
no,
the
I
numbers
agree.
had a big factor in the
Well, I mean, you
you
can
know,
get
what he would
addicted.
actually make.
You can the same way as you can get addicted. You can get addicted to eating, especially in large amounts, because you do expand your stomach out, and your stomach can expand to a very large degree that where it thinks it needs more food. Because anytime your stomach's empty, you're gonna think that you're hungry, even though
Hmm,
your body might not actually need to eat.
what the fucking it's funny coming
You
from
should
skinny
be
guy me.
consuming like if you're average adult male, whatever. You should be consuming at least 2,000 calories a day. I gotta consume more because I'm a bigger guy.
You have to.
I mean, you actually probably need to consume less, like if to maintain where you're at. But everybody needs to eat a certain amount per day. Um, but it does vary from person to person. The just recommended daily calorie intake is 2,000 calories a day. I think for most people. I think
I
women it
think
might be a little less. I'm not sure. I
I want it's a
really
little
don't know.
more. I want to say it's a little more just because they have a little more going on internally under the hood than
I guess a
the
pregnant
male.
pregnant woman, yeah.
But oh man, well, the biggest thing that I associate with avocado is his thumbnails when he has all
Oh,
his medical crap with him. That's
yeah.
kind of where I'm like,
He got put on like sleep apnea stuff and things like that, which I mean is not
yeah,
uncommon. Like I think I have sleep apnea. I should probably actually be on a CPAP machine, but I don't really know. I haven't started snoring until recent years, and I only know because of Erica. I used to have seizures in my sleep.
really.
Yeah, it was like when I was a kid. I would my when I was a child. I think the last time I slept with my father, in the same bed as my dad, when I was like 7, maybe. That was after I don't remember the circumstance. I think we watched some kind of horror movie. I was afraid or whatever, and
Oh,
he woke me up because he was scared because I was shaking. And then he would check in on me after that every so often. He every so often he'd find me just having like what he thought was seizures, but we never really looked into them anymore. I've been sleeping with Erica for quite a while now, and she hasn't said anything to me about it about seizures.
I
She
feel
just
like
says that I snore.
something would have been brought up if it were seizures because when I went over to Texas for Thanksgiving, one of my family members has seizures as well. That's why she stays with my father,
Right.
and it's something that is it doesn't just abruptly stop and then continue out of nowhere again. Like it's
There's a
like
cause.
once you start having the seizures, that's something you have to live with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I want to say it probably wasn't seizures.
Is that the case for all kinds of seizure?
Just from okay, natural, not natural born. I don't know what the word is. She used a really fancy word, but basically, people who actually like develop it naturally rather than it being kind of like a fucking. the- I know I'm fucking this up so hard. She
No, you're
gave
good.
me such a beautiful explanation of the whole
It's hard to
thing.
retain a lot of stuff.
Well, especially with this kind of thing, because there's a lot
Sorry,
of factors in it. Like
I
I said,
am gonna continue eating, but
oh yeah, 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 eat fool, eat. But yeah, no, there's too many facets when it comes to what causes seizures. I mean, just from like photosensitivity, and,
mm,
it being in your genes, that kind of thing. It's too much.
there's a lot of things. I mean, there are certain things that can develop over time as well, though, that can cause you to have seizures. I know I went to high school with a guy. He used to get seizures a lot. I forget what triggered it. There's something very specific that triggered it. And a teacher was being dumb and almost fucking killed him
Oh my god.
because she told nobody to touch him, but he was laying on his back, seizing. He needed to be on his side in case he fucking throws up and chokes on his own vomit and
Chokes
shit.
to death. Yeah, I was about to
Oh.
say, you don't put him on your back. What the hell? Oh. But actually, that's actually a pretty good segue because it's kind of in the medical field of things. I kind
yeah,
of wanted to talk about my very small. Actually, it's not a small time. It was about like 8 months, better part of a year for the most part. But
Better year.
um, somewhere around 2019 to 2000 2020. Um, I started working at a COVID-19 vaccination pop-up clinic. So it wasn't just like a hospital or whatever. We were based in a freaking hockey stadium. So this was like
Oh,
a like an emergency. Like we need to vaccinate as many people who are willing, and we need as many
many.
people as possible. So there was like fucking there had to be at least 600 staff members in on site
Oh yeah,
between actual
because that was
logistics.
like very beginning, right? So you're talking like you
Absolutely.
started like what
Yep.
November of 2019 or like December, like when
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. It was
first hit
like,
the states.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This was an attempt to open everything back up because this was the time where I was a bartender at a place called Penis Palette, and Penis Palette is a
I did not
art
hear
studio.
penis. I did not hear penis at first, but I'm so glad I heard it the second time.
Oh
That fucked with me for a minute. I thought you were being dead
no!
ass. I
Oh
thought
my
you were
god!
being dead ass. I'm sorry. I had to
So,
bring that
anyways,
up.
back to Penis Palette.
Penis palette. Penis no, that's the porn store next door.
Oh my god! We've got big, small, thin, thick, brown, white. We have it all, baby. Come on
Dragon.
down to. Oh my god! No. Okay, maybe not that. Oh my god! But
Welcome to Penis Palette Town.
oh my god.
Would you like your
But
penis mod?
we would have these painting classes indoors, and once COVID hit, that wasn't really a big thing we could do anymore, and we couldn't really think of anything at the time. We didn't really decide to stream the classes until like another 3 months from then. So we were still kind of bunked on like fucking when are we gonna open up again? It's been months. Holy cow! But so that's why when I saw that that job was a thing, I jumped on that shit.
Oh hell
But
yeah!
they started me off as a greeter, and which I was really disappointed at first. Because not only was I just like fucking some dude in a lobby, no, I was the poor fucker outside during the winter, fucking having to split people between Moderna and Pfizer for their vaccinations and whatnot. And
Y'all got a choice?
yeah, actually. Well, choice is a strong word. Yeah, you had a choice, but back then it was a lot more like I don't know. It was like choosing a fucking football team kind of thing. Like once you picked those that specific vaccination, like for some reason people were like taking pictures. Like it was like a
At like an event.
thing.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
like everybody was getting the fucking social aspect of it. Like you post like, oh, got vaccinated, you get like 300 likes on Twitter or something.
Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I'm just remembering
Just
this is on the
vaxxed.
cusp of everybody fucking being locked down and home for who knows how long.
I didn't notice when I got vaxxed.
The first sign of human activity. Someone take a picture.
Someone say something about me. Talk to me. Yeah, I don't blame people though either. Because I mean, when you're
Oh my
not social
God.
I'm not even that social of a guy, but not having any kind of human interaction, which I got lucky. I got very lucky because I couldn't get unemployment while while I was at the restaurant. I was just becoming a manager too when that hit.
Oh,
So like I had already been like a key, but I was really like starting to move into the management role. And then that hit, and so I was still an hourly employee. I stayed hourly. I said fuck that after all that stuff. They started trying to fuck me over. But I was out of work. I didn't work for 4 days, and I went from like working 6, 7 days a week to no work for 4 days.
I'm sure
I
that was
slipped into
fucking
like a
jarring.
depression for a bit because I knew I was not going to be able to survive. And then finally, I just walked in there and said, "I gotta work, y'all. I'm not getting unemployment. They denied my unemployment for some reason. I don't know why. I just gotta work." And they're like, "Fuck it." And
Are you fucking
I was
serious?
the only guy in the kitchen at Applebee's, fucking making to go for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh my god.
Because even after we got the go ahead to bring people back in after a few weeks, nobody wanted to come back because everybody was still
See,
raking in unemployment.
you want to hear the craziest part about that vaccination job? Now, when you think of the staff, right? You How do you think they would react to receiving the vaccination for free? Or well, not even just for free, but just like
Yeah, it was
they
free
would
for
be the
everybody.
first priority.
Priority vaccination. I think most. Eh, I kind of got a 50-50 split on it. I think some people would jump at it, but some people would be kind of like, well, I don't feel right being a priority. I think everybody should have equal priority.
Now, see, if people thought that way, I'd be like, you know what? I can respect that. That was not the thought process.
You
Nah, these people really thought that they were gonna like
be
get
guinea
all
pigs.
crazy. Yeah, they were like fucking test subjects or something. Like they thought they were gonna fucking get a microchip in their arm and have fucking
That's yeah,
hotspot for the rest of their lives or
yeah.
some shit.
Walk around free Wi-Fi with Google's microchip vaccine. Yeah, that's. I'm
First
sure
of
that's what
all,
people thought that was gonna
if
be.
fucking Google is doing that, I'll be the first one in line for that shit. Okay?
Yeah.
The fact that I lose signal in fucking Walmart, yeah, give me a
Never go
microchip.
without internet again. Get your fucking Wi-Fi hotspot implant.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be kind of fire. Not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying,
But
man.
yeah, no, that was a real concern. Well, because when you got people in a panic like that, because there's a new disease going around. People don't know what the fuck's going on. They don't know what's there's being told. I was under the impression that it was a flu-like virus that was the very same like that was a very similar makeup to influenza, which is what it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so like we don't know the full extent of it, so we should be safe. I mean, nobody wants to get sick. Nobody wants to be sick. Like, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, we rush ordered a vaccine. I can get people's hesitation on that. They're like, well, what's the side effects? And they're like, well, we really don't know, but compared to how the influenza early vaccines were, these are what we can give you. And I mean, like, I'd be fine with that, like, shit, I'll fucking take it. The only reason, like, I didn't get mine for a while, for a
I
long
remember
while.
that.
I just recently got one
I know. I
because
think you literally got it when I got here. Like, I
no,
didn't
I
think
got
you.
I got mine this year,
Oh, oh my
or
god.
not this year, not 2023, but at the end of 2022, because they
Okay,
came
I
out
was
with the
like
because they came out with the Omicron. Because that's what I was waiting for, because
the one shotter.
the well, so how these viruses work, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert. I just listen to people who know what they're talking about and then relay what my understanding of it. So don't take my advice or anything, but just from what I saw happen. So you know how the flu works, right? How
Yes.
influenza works. It
Mm-hmm.
mutates itself every year. So it's
Yes.
in its stage. It's in a constant form of mutation, but it can't produce any more side effects than what it's already created. Now there's type AB flu, I believe, because it's two different strands, and out of those strands they just kind of bounce off of each other and mutate and everything. That's why you have to get a new flu shot every year, because they have to update it to the new form of the flu in order to
Mm-hmm.
combat it. And sometimes that's why people get sick, because you're getting that injection of the flu, and maybe the flu's already dormant in you, and that infection and that injection will actually kind of jumpstart it, but you don't know until you get it.
Yeah.
And so
And
like
that was something that people didn't realize going into the vaccinations. They would come back sick and then they would complain. but yeah, it's exactly
You're
what you said,
going
where
to be
they
sick.
might have had a dormant already, and they just had the side
Had
effects.
the side effects of it, and I mean, vaccinations are not immunizations by any mean. They're
Mhm.
preventative, so it gives you a better shot at not getting it. And even if you did get sick afterwards, and you got like COVID, influenza, whatever, you have a better on paper. You have a better shot of not getting it again.
Or at the
And
very least, not being hospitalized. That
not
was
being
kind of like a big thing
hospitalized.
as
That's
well.
a big thing, especially if you're older. Um,
Oh yeah.
Kids, I don't think it's really that big of a concern. Kids
Oh,
are pretty
not
resilient.
even.
Like I don't even think any child's died to COVID, right? Like very very small margin.
And
Uh,
for a while, we weren't even giving vaccinations to children because that's kind of how the next generation is supposed to combat it, is to
yeah,
become immune to it.
get the immunity. That's how like all pretty much every disease has worked going into this. But I do understand people's hesitation. I mean, it's not the first time like
Oh no.
that the government has experimented on the populace. Like
Um,
tenfold.
polio. I think that was something I got to talk to a lot of nurses and doctors through there, and it was kind of like the experience that we were having with the lockdowns and stuff. Apparently, they were saying that it was like on par with like the polio fucking outbreak, or I don't know if it was polio or something else, but there was like a big outbreak of some kind of disease where they kind of did a pseudo lockdown, kind of just like this for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Maybe not as wide scale or as
Uh,
long, but
19
one of the biggest things that we were having issues with because people weren't taking vaccinations, right? Now, having the choice wasn't the issue, right? And having that hesitation, like you said, because it's a brand new drug, it hasn't really truly been tested
Mhm.
any longer than whatever cycle they had in a lab, and that's probably what, under a year and a half or so,
Yeah,
probably at the time.
it wasn't
But
very long.
some of these people would actually try to they would try to convince the patients that came in to not get the shot.
Really?
Because they would fucking like, yeah, we don't know any of the side effects and stuff. And
It's
I don't know about
their
you, but I wouldn't want to take. I'm like, bro,
it's
the
their
whole point,
choice.
and not even that, like, how are we going to figure out the side effects if people don't fucking take it?
Yeah, I mean, basically. I mean, if you took the vaccine early stages, God bless you. Like you did your country a favor. You did the world a favor to a degree. Because I mean, you don't know. You can just take your best guess at what scientists are saying, but when they don't even have 100% of like sincerity of like how it's going to be, I mean, I don't think there was any harm in taking it.
No,
I,
not
I
at
think
all.
the whole big, oh, you're getting the vaccine, you're stupid, or you're not getting the vaccine, you're stupid. I think that's a dumb argument,
Oh
in
my
my
god,
opinion. Like
absolutely.
because like you have a choice whether you get it or not. Don't rag on anybody because they got it, or don't rag on anybody because they didn't get it. We all, even if no matter what, we're all still gonna probably get it. I've never had COVID. I've never gotten it. Me or Erica have never gotten it.
Now I want to say I haven't gotten it, but I've had like people that I've worked with and people around me just out of nowhere, like just be like, "Oh yeah, I had COVID at one point," and was like, "Wait, you never took off work,
You ever
man?"
took off work? Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, like I had guys that were working right beside me at the plant, who had gotten COVID, like while I was working next to them. And I mean, I still had nothing. Like they do, you can get tested out there if you go to medical out where I'm at. And I was getting tested every so often whenever I started feeling like kind of down. They're like, yeah, no, it's probably
Mhm.
just like a day thing, and next that'd be fine. You know, I know me and Erica went to Maryland for her cousin's wedding. It was a really good time. But we came back and I felt like shit. I was like, ah, fuck, do I have COVID?
I got sick.
And so I tested. I tested negative, and I mean it was just a few days, but we were in the mountains in Baltimore, so we went from a very high altitude to a very low altitude within just a matter of hours,
Ah,
and that has always fucked with me. Because I was thinking back, I hadn't been to my grandparents' mountain house in a long time, and that it's on a mountain. When we drive back, I'd just be sick for a few days just because my body's readjusting to the altitude. Just real stuffy.
having whiplash.
I mean, it really is. You're taking your body out of one pressurized area to another, and it can fuck with you. And that's what happened to me. But I mean, I've still never had it. Um, I mean, like I said, I didn't get the vaccine until leading up to my point. Uh, the way the vaccine is, it's a it mutates, right? So whatever vaccine we had at the time, useless.
Yeah.
Compare with with a certain thing, I get like a lot of people were trying to calm the public by saying, just take it, you'll be fine, you ain't got to worry about nothing, because we have a very sensitive culture now. We have a lot of
Mm,
very sensitive people here nowadays, so they
yeah.
got to be told everything's gonna be okay, or else they're gonna lose their fucking mind. They're gonna like
Dude, I
beat each
cannot tell
other,
you
they're gonna
how many
scream, they're
grown
gonna
ass
cry,
men. Oh, sorry.
like
Um,
like oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. No, that was a big thing that we had to fight a lot. Was just the absolute anxiety people would have.
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, I understand why, but it was just like even some people that I just would never expected, just like a straight up army soldier, just like as middle aged as you can get, fucking
Dude,
over
people.
here actually shaking in his boots. But I mean, yeah, like it's something you don't know what the effects are going to be, even though it's not going to be that crazy. And as far as I'm concerned, you had a Karen on Facebook telling you that you're being a sheeple for fucking taking the
You
vaccine in the
fucking
first place.
sheep, you're gonna get 5G injected to your bloodstream and kill my child.
On top of the first half of this vaccination facility being open, we had protesters at the other side of the road of
I
where
don't
we
doubt it.
were,
I don't doubt it at all.
constantly screaming at the people that were on the fucking the line outside. It was fucking.
The
It was
thing
wild.
that fucks I'm gonna get political here for a moment,
Yes.
just for a moment. I don't like being I don't know what my views are, if that makes sense. I really
I
don't
think
know
that's
what
the best
category
type of view.
I
Do
don't
not
know
pick a
what category
side.
I
Pick
fill in.
your side.
I think the most radical right view I have is about guns, and that's just because I grew up where I grew up and I love them to death, and I'm just a
Mhm.
nerd when it comes to engineering. And I like all forms of engineering, and guns are really fucking cool, and I think I'm just obsessed with them right now. Um, I think it's my most far right view. I'm pretty left on a lot of things, pretty liberal on a lot of things, and but everybody forgets the moment something isn't going your way, you suddenly forget what the fuck you were saying. So if I'm sure you remember, I'm sure every sane person watching this remembers when Trump was in office and they were producing this vaccine. Everyone on the right was like, "Yes, I'm going to get this vaccine because my president endorses it and I know I can trust him. And I'm going to get Trump's vaccine, blah 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 blah." Even though they have not, president has nothing to do with these vaccines,
Oh,
nothing.
well, yeah. It's just a figurehead.
It's World Health Organization, it's CDC, it's things like that. Which a lot of people in there I don't believe should be running it, but that's a whole different story. There's a lot of corruption in there as well. I'm not going to deny that, but I would like to think that most, especially when it involves the world's health, most people the
Common decency.
have the common decency to take the sake of humanity into question or into consideration and to be like,
Yeah.
let's not poison our populace. So I
I
get that.
guess we shouldn't.
But I think that's this is another reason why we had such a struggle. It's because it was the election year
Yeah, the
of
timing was
2020,
absolutely tragic. Oh my
and
god.
it's the worst time to push anything because everything is an agenda. Everything is, oh, my candidate endorses this, oh, my candidate hits this, and then whoever wins swaps. And it swaps and it does it every time. It's media, it's public, it's social media, it's these fucking idiots on all sides. And people make fun of people like me who have a more center view of things because apparently that's not the right way to think. You're supposed to think one way or the highway kind of thing. But
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
I think those people are fucking retarded.
Yeah, I know. I agree because I think a spectrum is not made of two sides. It's a line
Fuck
full of
no.
the whole middle. There's a middle
Ideology,
section there.
like ideology, especially in a country that you want to live in. That I love my fucking country, dude. I am very patriotic, and I love where I live. That being said, I'm gonna shit on it at times, but I mean,
No,
you have to shit on yourself every so often,
you
um,
shit on stuff because you love it.
because you love it,
Yeah.
And I think many things in life are a spectrum that needs to be respected at all ends. But it's just I hate that a lot of it's come down to. Oh, sorry, I'm getting off topic. So
Oh, I know. That's the point of the podcast.
originally the vaccine was coming out. Trump was president. a lot of the right wing populace was like, okay, I'll get this. More of the right center wing populace was like, I'm kind of iffy on it, whatever. Everybody on the left was totally against it. They said this is gonna fucking kill us if we take this. They said there's no way that I'm trusting this fucking vaccine. There ain't no fucking way. Biden wins the election. Complete opposite. Right says we're not taking that fucking poison. We're not taking your 5G injection. And the left's like,
We're not
and
taking
then
your
the left's like,
5G.
why are you retards not taking this? You're killing my grandma. You're hell spawn. Fuck you. All of you are killing old people. Why do you want to kill old people?
My God.
When you go back another 2 years, a lot of I would say more center people. I would say more center people were like this. Was like, if there's a population problem, why don't we just kill a bunch of old people who don't matter anymore? Like,
oh no, you're right.
that was
No, you're
happening.
100%
That was
right.
happening.
Oh,
I'm
God.
not wrong on that. People were like, we just need to kill old people. Let's kill the old
It's
rich. Let's kill.
It's so bad on
let's eat
paper, but
them.
I know I've said that out loud at least once.
Yeah. But then the moment that it comes into play, oh, they could actually die to this disease that could help politically improve my ideal candidate's standing. Well, let me push that, and that's on both sides. That's on both sides every time as well.
I also just feel like older people just straight up vote more. I feel like younger people our age are more prone to just straight up not vote at all.
Yeah.
I've known
Because we don't have a
more-
choice. We have no choice.
Oh no, you're
We don't have a
you're
choice.
absolutely
I
right.
vote one way, I'm a good guy. I vote another way, I'm a bad guy.
Or if you vote, something that isn't the two main parties, you're wasting your vote.
If I don't follow what the news is saying, I'm a bad person. And
Oh man.
news is government funded, majority. Anything, and if I listen to any other news source that isn't government funded, I'm an idiot who's listening to a bunch of idiots, and that's just how it is. And I mean, I kind of believe that to a degree.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's not sourced by people who actually do the fucking research, then yeah, we're just. I mean, hi,
But-
welcome to the Clown Town Podcast.
Welcome to the Clown Town Podcast. You should take nothing we say seriously because we don't know shit.
Oh yeah, no, we're just shooting the shit.
We're just
I
shooting
mean,
the
it'd be
shit. Like,
nice to know.
dude, I work at a fucking factory. I don't know any fucking thing, dude. I just know common knowledge that I ingest and that I bring an understanding to. Because I was pretty much right about COVID for the entire time. I got off track again, Dino. I got off track again. I was trying to get to the point as to why I waited so long to get vaccinated.
Oh my god, that's right. You brought up the president. And I was so focused on that. I didn't even think of why you brought that up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So why I waited? It's because I knew none of them would fucking work, and then they came up with these. I don't understand the boosters. The boosters got me because it's not a new vaccine.
I think that was our biggest misstep easily because that's where we started losing a lot of people for that same reason. Yeah,
It didn't
because
make any
people who
sense.
knew even just a tiny bit about viruses would be like, wait, wouldn't this be kind of useless?
It's
in
kind of like you
3
can
months.
like I guess maybe the booster was like maybe they were trying to get the latest version of COVID, but it doesn't change that much.
The idea at the
Yes.
vaccination facility for the booster was just to reintroduce the virus into your body again and to see if your body actually responds correctly to the virus
That makes sense.
or the virus that they made or the virus that was around at that time before the Delta virus came out like another
Yeah, and
3 months later.
that's what I was getting at, like Delta coming out, but because Delta is the exact, and maybe that's why we were pushing the vaccine so hard, because the more vaccinated populace you have with a mutating virus until it reaches its dormant level, which is Omicron, which is the pretty much it's gonna Omicron. I forget the scientific name for it, but essentially it's its final form. It's mutated beyond where it can further go. So
oh my God, I
it
actually
can,
had someone drew a picture for this.
so it can't evolve anymore. So Delta was the next step, which we got there so fast because we had a massive around the world massive a vaccinated populace. So like the original COVID-19 virus was kind of getting couldn't do its job. So it's like, okay, well, let me change so I can infect them again.
I'm the mutate.
And so it mutated to Delta, and that's why I didn't really understand the boosters as much, because they don't really do much until you have the mutated form of a new vaccine. But I think what you're saying, because it was a new time. It was a protein vaccination, right? It was something
Yes.
involving like a protein or
Yeah.
So
No, you're 100% right.
so I mean, and all this is kind of new science as well, like new. Well, I don't even know how new it is. 'Cause I don't know.
So they've been studying COVID for a while, but like not creating vaccinations. Like they've been studying like it how people react to it in the first place, but that's as far as that research went before COVID started becoming a thing.
Yeah, like
Or at least
the
from
new
what
the new vaccine style.
yeah.
Yeah, because I knew they were talking about it. Like, I don't know. Because I don't understand why they wouldn't have done it for influenza. They developed a certain type of like this for influenza, because we can knock out the flu, and we'd be fucking golden, pony boy. Like,
Mm,
that'd be fucking sick.
I think it's just because when all this stuff came out, I feel like the flu's become such a mainstay virus, right? That we just kind of accepted it's going to be a part of our lives for the
It's
rest of
just
our
gonna
lives.
be
Who
there.
cares?
Yeah, I mean, the flu still kills people too, though.
It kills more people than COVID,
Yeah, it
to be
does.
quite frank.
That's true. I mean, overall, COVID's a pretty mild disease.
It really was mild. The only thing that
I mean,
really
it still is. Like it's still. I think because I know two guys who died from COVID.
oh
I know two guys I worked with. I actually didn't know the one guy. I actually saw the one guy a week before he died. I didn't realize he died. He lived next door to us.
my God, really?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, my one buddy. They both died the same way. So they both had COVID and developed pneumonia. And if you get pneumonia while you have COVID,
Oh.
it amplifies it.
Yeah.
That makes it way worse. And you gotta take those antibiotics that they give you. If you don't take those antibiotics, you'll fucking die.
They didn't take it.
And they
Jesus.
both they were both African American gentlemen. And neither but they both smoked, so they already had pretty bad lungs anyway. But they were both vaccinated. It just
But the
doesn't.
pneumonia.
Yeah, the pneumonia is what does you in, because COVID will amplify it. So COVID's not really the problem. It's whatever ailment you have already that it can get in, and just your body will focus on fighting the virus and not focus on the disease you already have.
Yeah, before we shut down the pop-up vaccination place, like the second half, about to the last quarter of it being open, we started trying to actually have like a focus on elderly and those with like predisposed disabilities or like illnesses for that same reason,
Or
because a lot of the
autoimmune
times
diseases.
yeah, there's the word. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, no, because they were a lot more at risk, not even just COVID, just like the side effects of COVID and their illnesses coupled together would just make things a lot more dire than it ended up having to be.
Yeah, and
Like
that's
I
the
think
big
we
thing.
actually had someone get carried out to the ER because he actually didn't fill out the paperwork correctly and didn't tell us that he was allergic to some of the ingredients inside of the vaccination.
Yeah,
So
that happens. That does happen to quite a few people, especially in a male populace. Um, I know. I think it was Moderna. They were having issues originally with the
oh
with the
yeah.
early stage vaccines. Yeah, Connor actually. Our friend Connor. I think I might be wrong, but I think he actually was having really bad heart palpitations after he got his vaccine and had to go to the hospital.
I believe it.
Uh,
Out of all the vaccinations I've seen while I was there, I got to see three, which was Pfizer, Moderna, and then Johnson Johnson
Johnson and
or
Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson
Johnson and
when
Johnson.
they were trying to make it a one pumper, like a one
Yeah, they
shot
were
and you're
doing the
done
two in
instead of a
one.
booster. Yeah.
Most of my family got the Johnson Johnson, and they've been pretty good. And that, like my grandparents are elderly, and they got the Johnson Johnson. They were good. I think my mom got Moderna. I don't remember.
I
Oh no,
got Moderna.
my mom got Pfizer. My mom got Pfizer.
Mm. So yeah, from what I noticed while I was working there, yeah, Moderna were the only vaccinations that actually truly had any side effects. Really, like Pfizer, like some people would have flu-like symptoms for like a couple hours, and then they were good. And
Yeah,
then I heard straight up nothing from the Johnson and Johnson shots. So I'm just assuming that they literally had like little to no side effects.
everybody I know that had them was pretty much good. When Johnson and Johnson, people said they didn't work, but I mean, I don't. My grandparents got COVID, and they're in their 80s, and they were fine. So I guess it did its job.
No,
you know, like
absolutely. Oh
like
my god, the way these things came in, they were like in trucks of these fucking giant
oh
like
fuck
ice
yeah.
chests or whatever. I don't know. It was so fascinating to see all of it come together and whatnot. I mean, yeah. So I was a greeter for a little bit, but they did switch me to actually be a scribe for the actual vaccinators, which is how I have some secondhand knowledge on any of this to begin with.
Yeah.
So I was with these nurses, student nurses, doctors, nurse practitioners, that kind of thing. And some days were slow, some days were busy. And during those slow days, I picked their brains to know what the fuck's actually happening.
Yeah, like get a better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, which was super enlightening. Like that, it made more sense as to why we were there in the first place. And you were, what you were saying in terms of like trying to nail down the virus in its current form before it can like evolve any further was kind of what a lot of the higher level doctors were like talking about in terms of like being the plan
Yeah, like trying to knock it out before it can
before it can
mutate.
evolve.
But that's such a it's such
We have to be
like
perfect.
a
We would
yeah,
literally have to. Everybody would have to take the vaccination,
like
be safe.
every fucking like what are those things the video games called? Have to hit every
Um.
fucking quick time event.
Oh,
Have to hit every
fucking
button perfectly. Quick time events.
quick time events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say. Wait, I think you already said it.
Yeah.
But oh my god, no. It's just,
But yeah, you would have to be perfect because it hasn't been done before. We have
bro.
not been able to like stomp out a disease before it active, except for like, well, you remember Ebola? Remember Ebola?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
That was such a joke fucking virus here in the United States.
Oh, absolutely. But in Africa, or
Because literally a guy from South Carolina made a machine that literally wiped a room of Ebola within a second.
what?
Yeah, so any sign of it would just be obliterated on the spot. It just uses intense UV rays. The reason it's such a problem in areas like Africa is because they don't have as good Medicare.
They don't have
They
anything.
don't have as good Medicare. Their immune systems aren't the way ours are. That's why like places like China, with fucking with COVID and everything. That's why they had a heart attack too, because the Chinese populace has a worse living situations than we do, so their immune systems are weakened. You know, like from smog and everything.
Yeah. Okay, that
So
makes sense.
they have like a lot of vitamin deficiencies and stuff, and that can really fuck with your body. You know, trying to fight off a virus. But shit, I gotta talk about that too, especially right now with what had been going on. So right before all this happened, do you remember the Free Hong Kong movement?
Yes.
I don't know.
Very.
I don't know if this will actually affect our video or not, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway because I don't give a fuck. So you know how like not long after that the COVID stuff started happening, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird to me. Like I know things happen out of circumstance.
I think it's more weird that when COVID happened, we kind of stopped
We
talking
stopped
about
giving a shit. Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And you know, like things like Blizzard would ban people for saying free Hong Kong and everything.
I'm sorry. What?
Mm-hmm.
I wish you would so fucking ban me from actually trying to like bring awareness to an actual crisis. What the fuck?
Because Hong Kong is technically, and we went over this the other day, I think, on
Yep,
a podcast.
we sure did. It's an
Yeah.
independent city.
Independent country.
Oh, country. My bad. No, you're right.
It's a city, but it's a country. But fuck, lost my train of thought. Oh, so more recent things. It's probably been a few months now, but there was a lot of protests happening in China because China still had really strict COVID lockdowns and everything.
Wow. Now still?
They still had them, and they're bringing them back in.
Jesus.
So, and the world was pressuring, but like, hey, you can't, just keep your populace under lock and key. And you can't get credible numbers out of China. It's kind of like trying to get credible numbers out of like North Korea or something like that. It's just not going
straight
to
answer
happen.
from a 22-year-old girl.
And so, yeah, pretty much. So when these protests were happening, guess what they did?
What?
They started marking, oh, hey, we're having increased COVID deaths. We're having increased COVID infections. We're having increased this. So we're going to lock down harder on our citizens now.
Oh my god.
And tell the world that, oh, well, we need to be careful. We need to be careful because China's getting COVID, so we're going to get COVID too. That's why you see,
my god,
like places bringing more mask mandate. But now let me stop myself for a moment because it makes sense. Because it's cold. It's winter time. Fucking viruses flourish in the fucking winter. It makes sense. You should probably be wearing a mask when you go out. I mean, it's your choice if you do or not. But especially if you're sick. If you're sick,
that's literally what it's for.
If you're sick and you need to go out, wear a fucking mask.
It's
Do a
not.
common decency thing. If you're sneezing, hacking, coughing, just we should have had, because other countries have had mass cultures as well. We should have developed that shit years ago.
I know. I think it's so weird that people make such a big deal about it. Like, you remember what, like, the first like 3 months of me moving here in South Carolina, I
Mhm.
fucking went to a Walmart and was
You
called
got
out to
called
be
a
a sheep.
sheep. You got called a
Yeah.
sheep for wearing a fucking mask.
Oh my god.
Bro, it doesn't affect you. I'm doing it for your fucking, I'm doing it for your well-being.
I never realized either. That shit had free rent in my head. Like, I think I only started wearing a mask like another like couple weeks after that, and was like, you know what,
Fuck it.
fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting, well, no, it was actually kind of, well, you were there 3 months. It was so cold. But I mean, it's kind of like a fuck it thing at that point. Nobody really gave a shit. And that was at the low. Like nobody was getting COVID at that point. Because everybody had beaten off that current virus until it mutated.
What mutation are we currently facing right now? I haven't really kept up with it because
It's just Omicron. Omicron, it's done. This is as far as it can go.
that's what I figured. Okay,
It'll always be here, and it'll like kind of be. It'll kind of be on the same rate as the flu. So
oh great.
I think that's why I got the one I got now. Is so like it's, it's protecting against Omicron, and that's the only one you really need to be worried about because that's the only one really lingering around. People say Delta's still going around. It's really not. If you're protected against Omicron, that's gonna beat out Delta if Delta's still
Absolutely
kicking around. Delta's gonna be around for a few more years because it's just gonna be going from host to host until it dies out. Omicron, I think, will be in a continuous cycle of trying to mutate itself around, but just enough to beat our vaccines where it can still infect. So it's like basically eventually they're gonna have a thing where you get flu and influenza and COVID shots in one, which isn't a bad idea. Like you can just get them both in one go, you're good to go. Yeah, and that's the stage we're at now. Yeah, you're still gonna get sick. Nobody wants to get sick. Take your precautions as you need to. I probably won't get another shot because every time I do get shots, I get sick. Except for this one, for some fucking reason. Though I did have a fucking splitting fucking headache for a week, and my back hurt like hell.
Oh, I remember that.
My back hurt like hell. My fucking legs hurt. My testicles hurt. Everything fucking hurt for like a fucking week after that.
That is so weird.
Sucked. Like my body was in so much fucking pain.
Even your
I had to work.
was on
My
fire.
throat fucking hurt, dude. I could feel it in my throat.
My god. I feel the semen burning.
I feel it in my throat. Yeah.
It's like popcorn.
Oh
god.
Oh lord.
You know what's funny is that I took the Moderna shot and then the booster. And then once I traveled, I didn't take anything else after that. Because I figured that yeah, I mean it'll wear off at some point and then I can start getting used to what's around. And I'm a young motherfucker. Like I'm like 90% sure, like even if you were to catch it, right? Butt ass naked, no vaccine, you'd probably fucking live.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too crazy concerned for the most part. And yeah, I was kind of waiting for when we actually had the official, like, not like the Omicron vaccination, but like something like that. I didn't even know that existed at the time, but I guess that was pretty much.
They just came out not that long ago. They've only been out for maybe 6 months.
I was about to say it has to be recent because this is the first time ever hearing of it. But then again, I haven't followed COVID stuff in a long time.
I don't even know who made it. I don't even know what the name of it was. They were just giving them out at work, so I was like, "Fucking!" I walked into the little clinic thing, and they gave me a shot.
I'll look real quick.
Actually, probably should make sure I got a COVID shot and not just a flu shot.
I just
assumed. I just assumed I got the fucking because they had a sign up for it. They said it had flu and I got one shot and I walked out. They didn't give me a card or anything. Aren't you supposed to get like a little card or something?
Yeah. So normally you get a vaccination card. Although, if they did their job right, you should have had that punched into your state database. So even if you don't have that card, if you were to go to like a real clinic and they were to look up your vaccination history, they would see it.
Oh shit. I didn't do any of that. I just walked in and they got my name and I got a shot and I walked out.
What the hell?
Maybe I need to make sure I got a COVID shot. I don't actually know.
That was like one of the biggest things about the pop-up vaccination place was that we try to put as much of the shots into our databases as possible because a lot of
Right.
those people that came in weren't even in there for that same reason. They would give vaccination places or vaccination shots like flu shots from like Safeway or the equivalent to Kroger or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
and then not have it documented, which actually blows my fucking mind. Like, what do you mean you don't document it? How do you know if they're vaccinated? And what they just you trust their word? Come on,
I would assume that. No, I guess I need to go make sure I got a COVID shot because I
that's
definitely.
ballistic.
Yeah, I. To be fair, it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was just getting out of work. I'd been there on the night shift. I saw it. I was like, "Fuck it, I'll get it." I just walked in. They showed my ID, like my little work IDs. They got my name down. I told them my name again. Told them my date of birth, and they sat me down. Put me down. I looked away. They put a shot in my arm. They're like, "All right, you're good to go." I'm like, "Cool."
You sure you didn't get a fucking flu shot, my
I might
guy?
have just gotten a fucking flu shot. But I saw on the sign it said COVID plus Omicron vaccine and flu shot.
Oh my god.
And I might have just gotten the fucking flu shot.
I think that's literally what just happened. Because now that I think about it, I've never gotten a flu card or a shot card, vaccination card. That's what it's called for flu shots.
Well, it's
Ever.
because you need proof of vaccination for COVID because most places you can't travel unless you have a COVID vaccination now.
Mm-hmm.
So
That was a big argument for the longest time. If the vaccination cards would actually be legitimate documentation to show the vaccinations, which you think they would be, but there'd been people out there who would actually literally go to these vaccination places, steal a stack of these cards, and then just fill them in.
yeah,
And so there
yeah.
were people out there literally just faking vaccinations, which to me makes actually no fucking sense.
Well, it's just some places you could only work if you had a valid vaccination card. So people would sell that shit to guys who would like work more government jobs who didn't actually want to get the vaccine. And so like, because if you don't want to get it, you shouldn't like lose your job over not getting a vaccination.
I do feel like losing your job is
Kind
way
of
too
dumb.
harsh.
Kinda
Like maybe like paid leave or something, like a reprimandation or something, or
I don't think you should get reprimanded for it at all if you don't believe that you want to do something.
it's like I want to
It's like
say
to me, it's like firing a pregnant woman because she didn't get an abortion.
I, I can see why you made that comparison, but I don't know. The only reason I'm like,
Which Walmart does, by the way.
oh my, what?
If to anybody who can get pregnant out there, if you work for Walmart and you get pregnant, find a new job. Because they will fire you so that they don't have to pay your maternity leave. Because Walmart has good ass maternity leave, but they don't want to give it to you. And the managers are trained to fire you, hire somebody else to get your position. They'll get you to train them if you're good at your job. And then
Oh my
fire
god,
you.
that's tragic.
That's not me making shit up. I know several women this has happened to, one of which I am related to. Don't work for Walmart.
Oh, what? Yeah, no. Bottom line, no matter what,
Don't
I
work
don't
for
even care
Walmart.
what. Man,
Unless you're
even if you're
old.
homeless right now
If
and you
you're-
stole a phone
no.
right now listening to this podcast, don't go to Walmart.
Don't go to Walmart.
I don't care.
Don't work at Walmart. If you only have a Walmart, go to Walmart. Don't just not buy shit. But like,
Nah.
don't work.
Survive
for
off the forest.
Especially if you're a female, don't work for Walmart.
Hold on. I'm legitimately want to see stories of this. I'm actually floored. What the hell?
Mm-hmm. It happens. It might be suppressed. But I think overall people shouldn't be fired for. I don't know, dude. Because I'd be kind of uppity if somebody fired somebody over like a religious belief or something like that. Like I guess those are two different kinds of things to compare.
I mean, one does not have to be brought into work at all, technically speaking.
You're correct.
While the other one is something literally 50% of the human population has to
deal with. Yeah.
So, I mean, not that I'm I'm not dissing any religion here, right? Because like I'm not a religious person myself, so I will say that I do have like less attachments to faith in the first place. However, I I'm gonna say something
Go
offensive
ahead. Just
probably,
do it. Just do it.
but
This is a free space podcast. We don't give a shit
I
here.
believe that yeah, your religion probably shouldn't come with you to work. Like unless it's like you're trying to discuss like a day off or something that is important to your religion, then sure, who cares? Fucking whatever. But like I I don't know. There's no reason it shouldn't be brought into work like at all. Even if it was just Christianity, like it has nothing to do with what we're doing. So
Yeah. So why bring it into work? Yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't believe, and that's another thing. Like, I know a lot of religious people can make a big deal about their religion at work as well, especially if somebody doesn't agree with them. Just don't
oh
don't
my
don't put up
god.
that fight, dude. Just don't put up that fight. They're not affecting you. They're not affecting your beliefs. I understand you might want to like save them in the eyes of your God and everything, but like that's not
You put
that's
it
not
in
the
the
place.
exact words.
It's not your place to do it, especially not at
This
work. You're
this
there for a
giant
reason. Do your reason for being there, and if you want to do that, if you want to talk to them at their off time, see if they want to talk to you. If they do, great. If they don't, that's all you can do.
so during this
That goes
ambulance
for
job,
Christians, Jews, Muslims, uh,
Mormons.
Hindu. Anything. I can't name any other religion right now.
Uh, I mean, you hit pretty
The
most of the
major ones.
mainline ones.
The major
Yeah.
ones. Um,
Dude, no, that literally something you said in there was word for word with this old motherfucker that I had to take on this ambulance during that ambulance dialysis ambulance job. Um I don't remember where it started. I know I started it. It was somewhere along the lines of him mentioning something about his religion. And then like I try to be like really really like understanding even if I don't really understand it myself. So, stupidly, I decided to press further and ask more questions about it. And then the rant began, where
oh,
he just, where bottom line, apparently, to the younger generation, God is dead.
to some people that he is. Yeah.
Like, he just went off on how like the young people are gonna kill God and like how they lost faith and they're not like God's children or whatever the fuck. And then he looked at me after all that crap and was just like, "Be better." I'm like, "What the
Be better.
This man just went on a crazy fucking rant on his ass, by the way. This is like a fucking like mammoth 500-pound
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah. You had to get like the fucking human jack. Get him in
Yeah,
there.
human
Yeah.
jack, stretcher, the whole shebang.
Somebody
And
didn't believe me that it existed. By the way,
wait, stretcher or like
the human like basically got that motherfucker on a jack to lift him up into shit.
yeah, no, bruh. Someone like me, 100 and fucking 40 pounds on a good day, like yeah, we're gonna need something like that. I can't carry a motherfucker that big by myself.
Fuck no,
You seen
dude.
these arms?
But yeah.
But oh my god. That was like a 30-minute I condensed a 30-minute chat
Oh yeah,
into
yeah.
that.
I mean, you don't
Oh
have to
my
say
god.
much to get the point across.
No, I don't.
No, it's pretty much all standard. But
I
I
swear
think the
young people aren't the problem.
well, it really just kind of comes down to like I don't even want to say like a religious thing. It comes down to a point of having respect for life. I guess is the word, is the way
Hmm.
to put it. Like I feel like a lot of people don't respect, um, don't have an appreciation for life.
No, you're right.
If that
Absolutely
makes
right.
sense, like they don't
No.
really. So that kind of comes to like it comes to a whole different topic of like mass shootings and stuff. Like
Mhm.
you have this broken, vile human garbage that has no appreciation for life and what it stands for and what it means to be alive and just how precious of a gift life is to be able to walk through. I don't care what kind of hell you're going through. The fact that you can look outside, hear fucking animals going, hear life moving on and being able to breathe sweet air and drink clean water is a gift.
I was
And
about
it
to
is
say,
some
yeah, no, it'd be awesome.
experiences are priceless. They are one of the most valuable things in the universe. The fact of just breathing, even an animal that's probably being hunted, the fact that it's alive is a gift to it. And its death is a gift to another. but that doesn't go the same for us. We're different. I know we're animals. We're in the animal kingdom, but we have a gift that many creatures don't, to our knowledge. Um, I'm saying that because we don't know what's out in space. We don't know
Oh
other
my,
species and shit.
fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully.
Well, hopefully they're okay with us.
No, so that's kind of what I meant. Like, hopefully they don't
Hopefully
fucking
they're
hate
all
us.
right. Hopefully they don't think we're fucking filth. Um,
Plot twist: we find space bigots.
yeah, space bigots. Yeah. Well, I guess we'd be the same thing, huh?
Oh God, we are the space bigots.
We
no!
are the space bigots. That's why nobody wants to associate with us.
No! Can you?
No!
Oh my God, they pull up on our planet. Whoa, wait. Yo, they fucking fight each other based on the color of their skin. What the
What
fuck?
the fuck? Imagine if they looked at us. We have scales and tails, dude. Like, what the shit?
Fucking retards.
Bro, we look just like them.
Oh my God. I'm sure there's an alien or like an alien civilization right now, fucking either
Looking
laughing
at
at us or fucking scratching their head like.
What the fuck is with these guys?
The
Ugh, what the fuck's a
Oh my
furry?
God.
What's a fuck? What the fuck's a scaly?
No.
my God.
Oh my God. Dude, somebody actually thought I was that. Like,
That you're a
even at work.
scaly?
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
first of all, I don't think I've heard that word in like almost a decade.
Reading a little too much of the Lusty Argonian Maid.
This is like the fourth time. Like, you're the fourth time I've ever heard that phrase.
Oh my God.
The third was at work, and then the other
I've been
two times
on the
were
internet
fucking,
a long time.
Yeah.
I've been in many dark places. Many dark realms.
We all
Especially on Skype.
No.
Oh God. What a time period. I was a young kid.
Oh,
I was
wait.
dumb.
Dude, you know what was so fun for me and never mind. But dude, what was it called? Omegle?
Ah,
Bro.
bro.
I used to fuck around on that shit all the fucking time.
Or you
That shit
just
was so
at a
funny.
point you go through people and you're like hi bye, hi bye, hi bye, nice cock, hi bye, hi bye. You know, like
Oh my God.
I did that. I got to a point on Amiibo where that's all I did. Anytime I did was just jerking, I would say nice dick and then just click off.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? He just like stops like what
I had one guy give me a thumbs up.
Ew. Oh God.
He was jerking with his one hand. He reached up with his left hand and fucking. I assume it was his left hand. I don't remember which hand it was.
Fucking
me a
Jesus,
thumbs up.
man. The fact that he didn't stop.
like,
What a
"Thank you."
committed asshole. What the fuck? Sick bastard. Jesus Christ. No, we just like coming or okay. So this girl I was dating at the time, me and her would fuck around and Skype all the time, and we just love fucking finding people that weren't like jerking off and actually genuinely like fucking have like we had these like little mini games for the longest time, or like it was like in either 21 questions or like a Simon Says or some stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it blasted, so it was a good time. Man, Omegle was
Y'all would do that with guys who were jerking off?
no.
No? Oh, sorry.
No.
I got very confused. I was like, wait a minute, what?
We would drink
You would drink.
and fuck around on Omegle. Just
Oh, and
Chat
just
with
like
people.
chat with people. Okay.
yeah.
I thought y'all would try to get the deuce to stop jerking off and play 21 questions.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Hey. Can you give the fucking the shake weight a break? Just 1 second.
Stop schwanking your wank and play games with us.
Question 1. What's your favorite color? Just oh my God.
What's your favorite color?
Jesus Christ.
What's your favorite food? What country would you like to visit?
Oh God.
Ugh. Damn, what a roller coaster of topics.
I know, yeah. That doesn't happen very
We
much.
went from a
Usually-
very serious topic to a very not serious topic at all.
and that is the best part about these kinds of things.
That is the best part of the
fluctuation.
Clown Town podcast.
Heyo.
Here at the Chief Jehova Variety Channel.
Oh man. I'm still on the fucking my fucking web browser has fucking I went to look up pregnancy firing in Walmart, but all I got to was Walmart pregnancy, so I just have a bunch of these fucking first response fucking shopping ads.
Oh, dude, imagine being a baby born in Walmart. How many babies have been born inside of a Walmart? Oh, imagine being a Walmart baby. Oh, you sad sack of shit.
Oh my
You poor fuck. I'd rather be a
That's
taxi baby than a
hilarious.
Walmart baby. You're like, damn, mom, you could have shopped at Target. What the fuck?
They leave the baby in the lost and
I'm just a lost and found dumpster baby.
oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Comes up to customer service. Hey, I found this in the bathroom. Can I?
He has it by the umbilical cord. Just is like, hey, can you find whose this is? Just plops it on the fucking. On the
Seems to be
fucking
missing a
counter.
piece. It's connected somewhere, but I can't find.
It's
I
a
can't
really
find
long
where it
cord.
ends. Doesn't seem to end. Oh my god.
It just keeps going.
Oh my god. Speaking of umbilical cords, I don't know why. Actually, I do know why that reminded me. So it reminded me of a story, or not a story. So, I'm currently 25. This year I'll be 26. Um, I currently have a 9-year-old brother. So 9 years ago, when he was first born, um, I had some friends that came over to the hospital as well. But oh my god, I don't know why I freaked out so bad. But like, he still had like his dried up umbilical cord attached to his belly, which is normal.
It just dries up and falls off.
Just, I accidentally grazed it with my hand, and I fucking straight up almost fainted.
Oh.
I like hated the texture. Was like,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's a human organ that you just touched, so like it's kind of
fucking
gross.
Oh my god, I
Oh,
had a
gross.
moment. My mother was fucking losing it. I've never
She
seen
laughing.
her. She was fucking like wheezing. She thought it was the funny. Well, I mean, of course it was funnier. This is her third kid. I'm over here like. Meanwhile, she's like, first time, bitch.
First time. That was inside of
my
me.
god.
Yeah, I had to push it out.
Oh, actually, she didn't do it that way. She had a C-section. So the last two, Grayson and Stella, they were C-sections, and me and my brother currently were the natural borns. And I don't know all the specifics about the fucking procedure and all, but something had to happen to where I guess they were not having as much oxygen as they were supposed to, or something going.
Yeah.
So I had just passed by the window that my mother was in. Me and Jeff passed by this window, and they were like doing CPR on her. But this was like real medical CPR.
Yeah.
So they were fucking just laying into her chest, and me and Jeff were like, you okay? Jesus Christ.
Y'all had
Not
a
that, like,
moment.
she needed CPR, but like we were both like, bruh, is that
Bruh.
doctor gonna crush her? Jesus Christ.
Bro, don't break her fucking ribs.
Don't break her diaphragm, my god.
My brother, he's a nurse in Atlanta.
Oh,
He
boy.
was he told me all the time that he hated having to deal with like with older patients. Having to deal, well, it's kind of a sad thing whenever they would kind of go under and the they don't have like a do not resuscitate, and the family wants them to try to keep them alive, and so they're
Ooh.
having to take turns doing chest compressions on like this 80, 90-year-old lady, or something like that, and just like breaking her ribs and shit trying to keep chest compression going until she's finally dead
Jesus.
because they can't do anything, and the family comes in there and blames them and shit like that.
That's hard. Like, there's no winning in that situation.
Because you can't
especially
blame the
when-
family either to a degree either, because they're going through so much emotional trauma at that point.
I mean, and not to mention, if the patient was the one that ordered the do not resuscitate, that's the patient's choice. But I'm most definitely
a lot
sure
of people
that
don't do it.
families. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Some of those motherfuckers, like, if I got a chance, take it to keep me alive. Because I it goes back to the appreciating life topic. Is I enjoy life. I enjoy the very simple things. Even if I was like dirt fucking broke, walking around as a hobo or something like that, the fact that I could lay down in the sun and breathe is all I would care about.
That's kind of how I'm feeling. Well, maybe not the breathing part. Yeah, maybe I have gotten a little spoiled, but I'm a little okay. I'm about to get really gushy here.
You're good.
But man, it's more like the friends, man.
Yeah.
Bruh. Like I said, it's been a dream to fucking be out here and be with my fucking best friends.
Yeah, man.
Like,
No, it's been great having you here. I enjoy the friends aspect of it too. I think being alone all the time does kind of like would suck after a while when you don't have anybody to enjoy it with, obviously. But yeah, no, it's been really nice having you here.
it's just been it's a different experience because like the appreciation of life thing, but it's more of like people that I've been able to come in contact with and like Like you guys are friends because of who I am, not because of like anything I've ever done for you guys or like any kind of external crap, you
Yeah.
know? And that's every time I fucking tell people where I came from and they're like, "Fucking why are you
Why are
here?"
you here? Yeah. That's why I
That's
ask
my
people all the
response.
time. Why the
Because
fuck did you come here?
I have the best friends in the world here.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, it's crazy, and that's another thing. Like, it's just another thing that I like about life is just like you never know who you're gonna meet, where you're gonna meet them, how things are gonna go, and shit like that. It's just like something that a lot of people don't understand. I get people have different backgrounds and shit like that. People have different shit going on, but it's be a person for a little bit and see how much your perspective will change. Like, really, just stop being selfish for like just a minute. Just
Mhm.
let go for just a moment and look at somebody else's perspective and just see like how much like a killer, like somebody like that. I think killing somebody is the most selfish fucking thing you can do.
You don't think suicide is?
So, suicide is the other is it's the same thing, in my opinion. Because you're still killing yourself is just like killing somebody else.
Even if it's no, yeah, you're right. Because even when someone makes that ultimate decision to take their own life, a lot of the times when it goes wrong, they kind of backtrack.
Yep.
So that ooh, I had a moment.
Yeah.
You know what? Never mind. Nah, never mind.
No.
Let's not touch that one.
Not touch on it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's rough. It's a rough thing to talk about. Nobody has a definite answer on it. I don't have a definite answer on it. You
It's
know?
like I had one, and then like I had the rush of Tristan's memory come back for a second. I was like, ooh,
Oh,
okay,
let's
maybe
not touch.
maybe that's not a good time.
Let's not touch that one. Uh, but yeah, no man, it taking unless your life is at risk, I don't believe in taking another life.
And even then, like that, I don't know. I don't know what situation you have to be where it'd be like the only thing that would make sense. I guess if you're trying to save yourself from like an excruciating death that you know is coming, and
Yeah.
you're just like, you know what, fuck it, I'd rather instantly splat than whatever's about to happen now.
Well, I mean, you also have to think as well. Like if somebody's trying to harm you, in that way, even if they're not, you don't know their intention. Even if their intention is just to really fucking hurt you and not, you know, and not kill you or anything like that, or like just hurt you, and because you don't know what another human's thinking.
No,
Somebody's
no.
running at you with something in their hand, yelling at you, being very angry. You kind of have to kill them at that point if you have the opportunity to. Because if it's not you, who else are they gonna hurt?
I've
What's the
only,
next person, or who's the next victim? This, that, or the third thing.
I just don't know how somebody in that situation can hold back. In all honesty, like I've, I've only ever come sort of close to a confrontation,
Yep.
and like I don't know how you can restrain yourself straight up. Like I don't know how in like an adrenaline pumping moment where you think your life might be in danger, how you're not gonna accidentally just fucking ruin
Just
this other person.
yeah, absolutely. Especially if you have like a firearm on you, or if you have like a knife, or if you're just
Literally
if you
anything.
are just a skilled combatant, being able to take down an opponent. But like I said, we are, in a sense, we are different from animals, but we are still animals at our core. We are just a little different. We have a intelligence wise, ability growth. Our kind of mental, our
Conscience, that's the word.
conscience, yeah, our conscience, our spirituality, things like that. We're different in a lot of aspects, but we did come from a primitive setting, and we still have the primitive attributes are never going to go away because they're so embedded in our DNA, and fighting is one of those. Recognizing a threat. If you ever just been like in a public space and all of a sudden you get a chill down your spine, it's probably because somebody was looking at you and you picked up on it. It just gave your body an uneasy feeling like, oh, somebody targeted me or something like that. We have those
Oh,
senses, and you do to a degree. Um, but yeah, no, it's primitive survival instincts kick in, And when it's like that, especially under adrenaline, like people have blackout moments, you know? And I mean, that's kind of like a thing where your instincts take over and you're not really sure what's going on. You're just doing whatever you can to survive in a moment, and, sometimes that results in taking a person's life. Um, but I mean more in a sense of people like who do mass killings and shit like there's no sense
Mm.
in it. There's no sense in it. It's one of the most selfish things you can do because you're only gratifying yourself and bringing as much harm to other people as possible because you're just ensuing chaos and your only goal is to produce chaos because in a moment you think that you have power and that you're invincible. And usually that comes from a very broken person.
I was about to say, usually the people don't just fucking decide one day, I'm just gonna shoot up a whole fucking building. Usually they're pushed to that point,
They're pushed to a point.
unfortunately.
And
And usually it's stuff that's out of people's control, like, losing your job or fucking, like someone leaving you, that kind of thing. And then,
all sorts of shit can bring it on. There's so many human emotions now, and there's so many possibilities that can bring this about to bring somebody over the edge. I mean, not even just saying like a mass shooter or like just a mass killing in general. Like the two guys in Canada who did the mass stabbings not that long ago. There's two brothers just fucking snapped and started slaughtering people. Then they killed like 14 fucking people.
mm,
Just went on a stabbing spree. It happens all the time in other countries too. Just people killing each other for no reason. They just seemingly just to gratify themselves. And I mean, it does bring up to a breaking point, but at a point we got to look at ourselves as to why these happen as well.
I was gonna say, it's kind of a mental health thing at this point. I
It's
mean,
always been a mental health thing, and I hate when people say it's not and just focus on just like focusing on the politics about it. But we really do have a damaged society at this point.
but that's part of the problem is that people don't want to recognize when there's an issue. They want to sweep it under the rug because they're either uncomfortable to face it or don't know what to do and would rather just ignore it.
And I think that's the big problem. A lot of problems we have, not just in our country but in the world today,
In
is that
general, yeah.
we know the problems, we know what's wrong with the world, but we just don't want to hear it because it makes us uncomfortable, and we don't want to face it. It makes us, I don't know, it just nobody wants to be uncomfortable. People would rather be ignorant to things and just ignore them.
No, you're absolutely right because nobody likes to be wrong or feel like they don't have any type of agency in a situation that they have no control over.
And
But
yeah, that's another thing. Being able to admit that you're wrong. I think very few people have that capability anymore. They'd
I think
rather
that's wild
they'd
to me. Like,
rather get defensive, back themselves into a corner, and find people that agree with them and attack the person that's making them feel like they're wrong.
it bothers me because I'm like, how do you grow as a person if you find people that'll just help you make an echo chamber?
We
I don't know.
don't we don't
I
grow.
just
People aren't
I was
growing
about to
anymore.
say,
People aren't evolving anymore. People aren't like evolving in a sense of like socially, thought processes. People are stuck in their ways because they're being told by people that they respect that, oh yeah, let's hop on this bandwagon with me and let's go on a ride, and you're such a great person for following me, and words of
nah.
admiration, and they make me feel good, and I'm just going to believe what this person says because they make me feel the way I want to feel, and I like what they say, and I'm going to ride with this until the fucking cows come home. Like it's just it, it's a mentality that our society's so dug into. And even with like we're never going to get like a big following. I can tell you that right now. But
Nah.
people who follow us like this, like be doing the same thing, influencing others. I guess that's why they call them influencers and shit like that. Content creators, because they're just so good at doing it. Because you have unlimited access to it. You have an unlimited amount of things that you could say platform wise. All this stuff you can appeal to whatever audience you want to. You can have people eating out of the palm of your hand, and they'll back you till the day you die or until you get canceled for saying something you're not supposed to.
Say something fucking
Say something you're
racial.
not supposed
Do
to.
it. Do it.
No. Um,
And
but yeah, it's just
see,
we've
friends will tell you what you want to hear. Good friends will tell you what you need to hear.
yeah, and that's where it kind of comes in. But people just want this words of affirmation because they make them feel good. It's a drug, damn near chemically.
It's a blinding drug.
It
Have
really,
mercy.
it's echo chambers are not good. They bring harm, really bad harm to our society.
Well, not even just harm, just like ignorance. I
It does. I mean, that's the same thing because guess what? These fucking shooters do. These killers. What all these fucking murderers do. These fucking monsters. They find people that encourage their belief of, hey, I want to fucking kill people. And they're like, okay, they get this Discord group that's like, yeah, bet you won't, pussy, bet you won't do it, bet you won't do it. And then some kid fucking live streams him shooting fucking 10 people at a fucking grocery store.
My God.
And, shit like that happens. And then
And I can hear it too. The "you won't do it, pussy." God
you won't
damn it,
do it, pussy.
internet.
And then you get the
Uh,
wrong kid who never had a good conversation with his parents, whose parents never cared, left him to himself. Just brought about nothing but chaos. His friends were toxic. Every relationship he's ever known is toxic. And instead of finding or talking to somebody who cared, or somebody asking, "Are you okay?" Simple fucking question, and knowing that they got a fake response of, "Yeah, I'm all right," and just a simple conversation can change the life of so many people. And that's what we're ignoring social aspects. We're ignoring each other. We're writing people off as weirdos. We're writing people off as, you think a different way than I do, so I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And breaking friendships over belief systems, breaking friendships over sexuality and ideas behind that. It's just not. It's not okay, and I think that's really becoming a downfall of us.
it just drives me nuts because growing up, like you're sold on this idea of America being the crockpot of the world. Like it's this mixed bag of ideas and fucking beliefs,
And it
and
has been for a long time.
but I feel like people are forgetting that that's the magic of America, not us all being a hive mind.
People
You
are
know,
forgetting that. That's why we
because
have party systems. That's why and I think we need to, people got to come together and realize, hey, this shit ain't working. We need another option. And we can force another option if the people do it. But the people have been so fucking secluded for so long and so, pampered and taken care of that nobody wants to. That's right, that's left, that's down the fucking middle.
Nah, yeah.
Some people don't have the
Anytime that
fucking
anybody
balls to
asks me,
stand
"Are you
up.
Republican or Democratic?" Nah, I'm American. This
I'm
shit's
just
stupid.
an American, dude.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have to deal with these fucking party systems to begin with. We shouldn't have to classify ourselves depending on who the fuck we vote for. Like,
I
yeah, you
just
can
assume
classify
that
yourself under a belief system. That's fine. But your identity shouldn't revolve around your politic,
absolutely not.
your political points.
I mean, even as a politician, I don't feel like it should, really,
Yeah,
but that's
no, because that's not what we're fucking putting you there for. We're putting you there because we need representatives for the people, and we're the people of the state that want to be represented. So we need to come together and choose a candidate that we think is going to uphold our values, that we like, you know. And that's the same thing. Is like, and that's my biggest advice I can give to people who live in states. Like, you, if let's say like our state, South Carolina. South Carolina is a red state. South Carolina is
Mhm.
always going to be a red state. If you're a Democratic person, if you're a liberal person or a Democrat person living in South Carolina, don't vote for the Democratic candidate unless you think that it's really going to happen this time.
Mm.
Because South Carolina usually always is red. I don't think South Carolina has never not been red,
No.
except for when uh, around the Civil War era of South Carolina. But that's totally different time period. That's the thing. People think the fucking Confederates are Democrats
Mm.
and the Union were Republicans, and then it's just kind of the parties had like some kind of weird merger. It's weird. It's very strange.
Still here.
It's so weird. Like Abraham Lincoln was Republican. Like it's so strange. It's so strange when you go back and you try to see like where the shift happened. But what I was saying was is don't, if you live in South Carolina and you're a Democrat or a liberal or how left leaning person, whatever. I don't know what all the fucking words are anymore. There's so much shit. Um, if you don't think that your candidate's gonna win that you want to be in, this is more like a governor thing. I think presidential elections you should vote for your candidate, but this is more like for like governor, senate, things like that. Like more like in-state representatives rather than a global representative, which is what the president is.
Mhm.
But vote for and try to promote a republic. Like, okay, so setting on South Carolina. So this example is just for South Carolinians who are Democrats. It's really not often that we get a Democratic electee in office here. Very rare.
I was about to say, guess what?
I would try to, yes.
The last Democratic person in South Carolina was Jimmy Carter in 1976.
Holy shit.
That was your last blue vote.
What the fuck? Damn.
That was your last one, boy.
It's been a long time.
Since that was the only one since 1964.
Holy shit. Well, based on these, based on that, I would try to find a Republican candidate if you're a Democrat living in a place like South Carolina that upholds your views more and has a pretty good track record of like, okay, well, this is what I like about my Democratic candidate is the Republican candidate that kind of falls in the same suit. And you might be able to find one that is pretty on par with your Democratic candidate. And the same thing with like Republicans in Democratic states. You know, like find your candidate that's upholding your values. Or
because they're not always one-sided. They're not just purely Democratic or purely Republican.
Yeah, it's just the party that they most align with, and we only have a fucking two-party system because we're fucking dumb.
Unga boonga.
We need at least 3 choices. That's just how it should be. 3 choices is a better system than 2. But yeah, like that's kind of like a loophole in my opinion, is finding somebody that will uphold your values more, that you believe will. And I mean, do your research on them, of course. If there really isn't a candidate that would do that for you, then stick to your guns on your candidate, of course. But I mean, like that, it might be a good idea to look at people people in offices because that's the whole point of senators, House of Representatives, governors, all these other people that we elect. It's not just to fill a position and be like, oh well, if we have this person, we're going to be all blue or we're going to be all red or whatever.
Not a fucking popularity contest.
It's not. It's your job. Their job is to represent the people of their state. And I feel like they're making too many decisions too fast because you don't even get full representation from the people. Because how is somebody going to know, just because the Republicans are voting on something, how do they know that all the Republicans in their state, that's what they want? Maybe they want to go with the other end. Or if all the Democrats in their state, want something else, how are they going to know that that's what they want to do? And it's your representative is the only thing in your way of holding those values together. In that point, you're putting that power in a single person's hands to represent you in government.
I just had a random thought.
Yes.
How come a president or like a governor or president, a political figure, have they ever I wouldn't say a press conference because they always do press conference.
Yeah.
How come none of them have ever gone on an internet platform and just randomly started answering just questions, just interact with the people? Why? I mean, other than fucking rallies, dude. I don't know. I've been to one rally for Obama, and I don't know. It felt like, what are we doing here again? I feel like we're just all screaming here, and I don't feel like we're. I don't know.
Hyping up.
I wish there were a more common way to actually have dialogue with these political parties, other than just taking their fucking word for it, or the small little bite-sized bits we have on TV through debates and interviews and all that crap.
Yeah.
So I feel like, especially now with the technology we have, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't had too many presidents fucking reach out to the people directly.
I mean, you've seen people go on, governors and senators and stuff go on podcast. They go on podcast. They do what was it, AOC? She was live streaming on Twitch Among Us and shit like that. Not that long ago.
I'm sorry, what? That was a new one for me. I did not know that.
Yeah, I knew that a lot of big streamers.
I knew that the Washington governor, because he's clearly a giant fucking pothead, he did some interviews and stuff, but that was as far as that went. I didn't know there were some actual fucking political streamers up in this bitch.
Yeah, man, AOC. She's younger, but I mean, she does she live streams and stuff. She interacts with people, things like that. I mean, plenty of candidates go on podcasts to give their spiel to maybe an audience that they wouldn't normally appeal to, and maybe introduce. So people do that. People do that. You just don't hear about it as much because you really got to look for it.
Clearly not.
Yeah. I mean, fucking, you find Trump everywhere. Trump's been on everybody's fucking podcast. Apparently.
Don't even get me started.
I'm surprised Obama hasn't been on more podcasts. To be honest,
That's what I'm saying.
I know
I'm like,
Michelle has her own. It's actually pretty
does she?
good. Yeah, Michelle has her own. I've listened to quite a few. They're pretty good. Pretty good podcast.
I'm typing in Michelle Obama, and I get Michelle Obama as a child. I'm sorry, what?
Michelle Obama podcast.
The fuck?
That's pretty good. Barack's on there quite a bit.
What the fuck? How did I miss this?
Yeah. She's had it for a few years now, I think. At least 2.
And
At minimum 2.
Favorite this real quick.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. I like the Obamas, so I mean that's.
I need to listen to more podcasts
pretty
to
cool.
just be healthier for my brain.
Yeah, I mean I listen to a fuck ton of them. Oh man, what a fucking wild ride of an episode, dude. We're going on.
I was about to say, wait a minute, what? How long have we been at this?
We're an hour and a half. We still gotta record the members only section, which I guess is where my topic will come into play.
All right, then.
Well, we should bounce it off. I didn't expect it to go this well this time around. It's definitely gonna be a more political episode, but I mean, hopefully you guys enjoy that.
I kind of like getting political. I want to be more educated on it, and so then we can talk about more complicated topics.
At the end of the day, we are just 2 random dudes talking on the internet. So I mean, you take everything we said today with a grain of salt. If you guys want to see my topic, hit that join button down below. It's a blue button, I do believe. It's 99 cents a month for a membership to the Chieftain Jehova Variety channel. Hopefully we'll be having other content besides this podcast coming to you soon, but we hope that this podcast provides as much entertainment as you need, and we appreciate your view. We appreciate your subscription if you subscribe. We appreciate your membership if you decided to pay for it. And as always, we will see you next week on the Chieftain Jehova Variety channel, hopefully with another long episode like this one, because this one went pretty well.
You're still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping you'd say bye.
Oh, okay. Bye. Love you, baby. Mwah. I panicked.
That's okay. It's faded out to black by now. Surely. Has it faded out to black? Me editing this, has it faded out to black?
It does not look faded.
Fuck. Fade it out, fucker. Like, what the shit? We gotta do the fucking members only section of the podcast. Buy our membership. Fuck you.